Greetings, brethren. Housebooger Donkey here. I wanted to show you my Warmaster Dwarves. I didn't really feel like setting up the work table and stuff, so it's at my standing desk, which means the camera is a bit wobbly. I hope that doesn't bother anyone too much. It's also a bit crooked. It's kind of difficult to get it right. I think this will have to do. All right, so yeah. These actually took quite a bit longer than I was hoping. I was sort of starting out with some speed painting techniques, and then as I kept going along, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to put some highlights on them. And that process took a long time. And seeing how the footprint of them got a lot smaller after I based them, because I had these strips. I think I showed that before, but I had these strips individually on bottle caps, and that of course meant that I had 2, 4, 6, 18 bottle caps sitting there, and now it's of course just 9 small stands, as you can see. So they shrunk down considerably, and I don't know, it feels like I spend a lot of time for what isn't a lot of stuff. But then again, in Warmaster terms, this actually is quite a decent amount of points, especially for dwarves. And for my full 2,000 points dwarf army, this is half my warrior contingent, so I'll have 6 units of warriors. I think 3 units of slayers, 2 or 3 units of handgunners, a unit of rangers, and then a bunch of cannons and stuff. So it's actually a good chunk of the army painted. So yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I'll show you some of the stands a bit more close up, if I can, if it'll focus. Yes, perfect. So yeah, what I did with these is I sprayed them black, and then I gave them a silver dry brush all over, pretty heavy dry brush as well. And then I washed them again in black. And then I started by picking out the helmets. So on a couple of them, as you can see, I used a brighter silver color to pick out the sort of crest and goggles and nasal piece on the helmet, and for some I did it with Vallejo model color bronze. I think the silver was Vallejo game color chainmail. I'm not entirely sure. Then after that, I picked out all of the beards in different colors. I used 6 different colors because there's to each strip there's 6 figures. So I just went with I basically went by unit and made it so that throughout each unit, the colors of the beards wouldn't be repeated in the same position. So, you know, for example, there's a blonde beard on each of these positions across all the strips, for one unit at least. And yeah. Then I also picked out all the gloves and boots, and if you can still see it, the sort of trim that goes around the chainmail skirt. I picked all that out in different browns and greens, sort of very drab colors, because I didn't want that stuff standing out too much in the end. Then I painted all of the wood in cavalry brown, as well as the axe handles. And then after that was done, oh yeah, and I also painted the little bit of skin that's showing on each warrior. And then I washed everything with sort of a mix of Agrax Earthshade and Reikland Fleshshade. And I pretty much left most of it at that. I did go, at the end I did go over the beards again with a highlight, because I thought it would help them stand out a bit more and make it more clear that they're dwarves. And then most time I spent on the shields and flags. Basically, there you go, you can see it really well on these. I went over the whole shield with Averland Sunset from Citadel Color. Then washed them with Seraphim Sepia. And then I painted on the sort of gray-blue patterns with... oh, actually I have it here. It's Luftwaffe Uniform World War II from Vallejo Model Color. And that just gave me the shadow color for the blue. Then I did about a 50-50 mix of Avalon Sunset, Dorn Yellow, and it's somewhere here. Ah, there we go. So like about a 50-50 mix of Golden Yellow from Model Color and Avalon Sunset. And then I mixed in a bunch of Dorn Yellow because it wasn't bright enough for what I wanted it to be. And yeah, and then I kind of highlighted all the yellow parts of the different shields with that. And then I just highlighted the blue parts, or gray-blue parts, with gray-blue from Model Color. And that was that. I went with very stark highlights because I did want the shields to pop at the end. So I didn't worry too much about them, about those highlights being too strong. Yeah, and then as I said, I did also highlight the beards at the end. I did show these figures before. They're I don't remember who made the files. They are 3D printed models, and these I bought these from Excellent Miniatures. The rest of what I need for my army is going to be 3D printed by someone local, because that's just really helpful. Yeah. As you can see, I also did different shield patterns and flag patterns to denote the different units. So the first one had a blue cross on yellow ground, and the second one has sort of a top-bottom halved yellow and blue. And then the third one has a sort of vertical split yellow and blue shield. I do have 3 more units that I'll have to paint in the end. So yeah, they'll get a different pattern as well. The other thing is, of course, that there are 3 different command strips. All the actual warrior strips are pretty much the same, although I'll show you in a second that there are some differences between those as well. As you can see, this one has a champion with a 2-handed axe. This one has a champion with a massive shield with an anvil on it, and they each have different drummers and different banners. And then the final one is a bit weird because it's the only stand that only has 5 dwarves. The other stands all have 6, as you can see. So it looks a little different because of that, I suppose. And this champion has 2 one-handed axes and a horned helmet. Yeah, so yeah, what I wanted to show you is all of these dwarves are basically, there's like 5 or 6 different poses for them. They're all pretty much the same dwarf. They all carry the same gear and the same helmets and stuff. But there's a few different poses. And the way it was done is, as you can see, they're just in different positions on the strips. So the strips were just assembled basically in the 3D printing program or whatever, out of the few different sculpts that there are. And so they do have some really nice variation actually, which I actually kind of thought was really surprising. And then obviously through my use of different beard colors, I think they got even more variation in. So yeah, I'm really happy with these. Oh yeah, at the end, I glued them on the base, and then I painted the strips that they were on in sort of a 50-50 mix of Vallejo Game Color Goblin Green and Panzer Aces Old Wood, which give me sort of a very mildly greenish brown. And that was a great undercoat for the sand that I put on. And I just I fillered the gaps at the side and painted that in that same color as well. And then I glued on a bunch of Luke's APS ground stuffs, because it's really good for this sort of thing, I find. I think for this lower scale in figures, it gives you pretty much the look that you want. I think. It has some grass in it and everything, and it just looks varied enough. And then I just did Goblin Green borders because, I don't know, I just really like the look of that at the moment. So I just had to do it again, especially on these smaller scale figures. I'm really digging how that looks. So yeah, that's 3 units of Dwarf Warriors for Warmaster painted. Can't wait to get into more of them. But I have decided that next I'm going to tackle the Republican Romans, because they have been a thorn in my side forever, and I just kind of want to get them out of the way. That'll be a bigger project, and I'll definitely make some videos as I go along. Yeah. I'm definitely going to speed paint the whole lot at once. And yeah, I'll show them to you in stages as I go. Alright, hope you enjoy these dwarves. I'll give you another sort of shot from the top, because I do think they look pretty amazing once they're all nicely set up like this. Really looking forward to completing this army. I mean, I say that, you know, I spent a bunch of time on these, and I did. It did take me about a week to paint these 9 bases. But, you know, I've also started a new part-time job and stuff, so it's there's a lot going on, and I didn't actually spend that much time each day painting them. So it's really not that bad in terms of time invested. But I was kind of hoping to get through them faster. But oh well. This is where we are. But I really like the result, so I think that's the most important bit. See if I can get in a bit closer there. Yeah, look at that. They turned out very, very lovely, I think. I'm really happy with them. Can't wait to have a whole Warmaster army painted. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll show you my progress on the Republican Romans as soon as there is some progress. Right now they're just sitting there in a tray and waiting to be washed all over. Alright, I'll see you in another video. And yeah, I haven't. Oh yeah, I did want to mention that I haven't responded to comments in a while, because it's just been really crazy, and I just didn't have, you know, half an hour anywhere to just sit there and respond to comments. I have read them all, so thank you for commenting, and I'll definitely make sure that I sit down at some point and respond to all the comments. Still watching everybody else's videos, so keep posting them. Even if I don't comment, I am always watching. It's really tough for me at the moment, because I usually, when I watch videos, I watch them in bed. And I do have a keyboard, but it's really awkward to type on, so you generally don't want to get out of bed to write a comment and then, you know, lie back down to watch my videos, because it's just kind of my off time where I'm just sort of, you know, turning off the brain. But yeah, I am watching, and I do try to comment every now and then. Alright guys, thanks very much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!